That's it, just over 100 pounds. There is no way our Buffsuki meme weighs only 108.3 pounds. For comparison, here's what 5'3" bodybuilder Debbie Lazowski looks like at 145 pounds. It is definitely impressive. She could probably crack a walnut with those biceps, but she is nowhere near the size of Buffsuki, whose biceps are twice as big as her head. So, sorry guys, I know that we all wanted to run out there and get on the Buffsuki exercise bandwagon to show the world our hot new bod, but there is no way for Natsuki to even get close to Buffsuki territory naturally. But then again, she could do it with a little help, and by little help I mean a whole heck of a lot of drugs. One big factor in bodybuilding that we haven't even talked about yet is testosterone. Testosterone accelerates muscle growth, increasing your body's rate of protein synthesis, decreasing the rate of protein breakdown, and activating more of your muscle satellite stem cells. It is like the magic bullet for muscle builders, making muscles repair more quickly and deteriorate more slowly. And as long as the rate of muscle growth is higher than the rate of deterioration, your muscles can theoretically keep building bigger and bigger forever. The problem when it comes to Natsuki, though, is twofold. One, Natsuki is a girl, and thus has less testosterone, meaning that she has lower muscle maximums than a guy. And two, even if she were a guy, the human body just doesn't make enough testosterone naturally to become the total gorilla juice head that is Buffsuki. Enter steroids. Anabolic steroids, to be specific, artificial substances that mimic the testosterone in the body. These things can drastically increase a person's upper muscle limit while allowing them to gain muscle much faster than normal. How fast are we talking? Faster than Yuri goes from friend to total stalker. A study from the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science showed that men who were taking 600 milligrams of testosterone a week and doing nothing gained 2 pounds more muscle in a 10-week period than men who were taking no drugs but exercising 3 times a week. You heard that right. Taking testosterone and doing nothing gained them 2 more pounds of muscle than people who were actively working out. The group who were using testosterone and exercising, meanwhile, gained an astonishing 13 pounds of solid muscle in that same 10-week period. Crazy. That is the power of testosterone. Another study performed at McLean Hospital in Belmont, Massachusetts, tracked 157 male athletes to determine their FFMI, or Fat-Free Mass Index, basically a measurement of muscle size. The highest FFMI recorded in natural athletes was 25, while the buffest steroid users clocked in at FFMIs of 32. And for comparison, Ronnie Coleman, widely regarded as the greatest bodybuilder of all time, managed to hit an FFMI of 38.8 in his prime. Now, the ceiling for female bodybuilders is a bit lower than that. Natalia Kuznetsova, the European deadlift and bench press champion, has an FFMI of 28. But there are additional steps that the aspiring Buffsukis of the world can take, like taking estrogen blockers and a cocktail of other steroids to push their ceiling even higher. Many bodybuilders, both men and women, stack different kinds of steroids, combining their effects along with other drugs to further increase their growth potential. And studies have shown that these increased dosages correlate to increased muscle gain. So in theory, it's possible that with the right mix of highly controversial and sometimes illegal drugs, Natsuki could in fact begin to reach for her Buffsuki dreams. In fact, it's not only possible, it's probable. Because you remember when I said that Natsuki is 18 and 4'11"? Well, on average, females stop growing at age 14. So Natsuki should be well out of her growth spurt territory. But as we established before, she's not the average girl. She's malnourished. And when you're malnourished as a child, one of the most common results is delayed puberty, a condition where basically your body puts off things like growth spurts and sexual maturity until you can get yourself a hold of some more cheeseburgers. Natsuki is a perfect candidate for this. She's smaller, looks younger, is less mentally mature, and we already know that her dad's been starving her for years. Without going into puberty, your body never sends the appropriate signals to lock off your bones' growth plates and stop growing, which leaves you in this pre-puberty growth limbo, potentially until you're in your 20s. What does all of this mean for Natsuki? Well, it means with the right, chemical help, she could not only gain more muscle, she could also potentially grow taller. HGH, or human growth hormone, became a favorite stimulant for bodybuilders who pushed the boundaries starting back in the 1970s because it's associated with massive muscle gains above and beyond even what you can get with anabolic steroids. So by taking HGH to increase her muscle mass, Natsuki could trigger a growth spurt to bring her up to a more intimidating Buffsuki like height and also expand her natural maximum muscle mass dramatically, increasing the effectiveness of her all-new eating habits and whatever other cocktail of steroids she's using as well. Long story short, as horrific as it may sound, her malnutrition may have just worked in her favor, delaying her growth phase until now, which in turn opens her body up to all sorts of crazy growth from the steroid cocktail she'd be taking. Step 1, start eating a ton of food in 40-40-20 ratios to build up some energy reserve. Step 2, load up on the HGH to dramatically expand muscle capacity and get the most out of your newly started puberty growth spurt that she missed out on when she was younger. And step 3, work out like crazy while taking major doses of anabolic steroids to remove the upper limits on her muscle growth. And ta-da! She'll be looking like Buff Suki in no time, ready to take down her abusive father or beat smarmy YouTube hosts in arm wrestling match. Remove the upper limits on her muscle growth. And ta-da! She'll be looking like Buff Suki in no time, ready to take down her abusive father or beat smarmy YouTube hosts in arm wrestling matches. Ironically enough, she'll probably have more testosterone in her system than either of us will. Oh, and she'll also be suffering from a deeper voice, blurry vision, acne, possible baldness, white rage, as well as psychosis and permanent heart, liver, and kidney issues, depending on how long she's visiting this wonderful world of steroids. I didn't mention it earlier, but I wanted to finish up with this. These things are dangerous. This is in no way an endorsement to go out to your nearest GNC load up and then hop over to the deep web and see what you can stab into your arm. None of that is a good idea. In no way, shape, or form. Just keep going with normal exercise, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it. Is Buff Suki possible? For as stupidly absurd as this image appears, theoretically, yes. Yes, it is possible. It's like the perfect storm of things that have to happen, but you can do it. If you couple Natsuki's history of malnourishment with a dangerous cocktail of human growth hormone, anabolic steroids, exercise, and a proper diet, she could, in fact, pump her body up to look a heck of a lot more like Buff Suki than you'd ever imagine. No file tampering required, Monica. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
The portrait of Markov. I believe you're familiar.
I think it's lower.
Yeah, I think so.
Summon your diaphragm, Steph. Can't you do that?
I have no diaphragm.
Where'd your diaphragm go?
Also, having a
That's
ball
sure
under
that's
your
you.
wrist.
Sure that.
YFZ. Meow. Meow, YFC. Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Ooh, sorry, John Wick.